Guess what? Our mouse pads are back in stock. Been getting tons of questions literally hourly about them, and they're back. Don't miss out. Again, novelkeys link down below. What's up, guys? I'm randomfrankp, back with episode 254 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off some of the best setups to give you some ideas and inspiration for your own setup. Real quick, my bad last week. I totally forgot that the day was the day to do it, you know? I usually record on Saturday. I thought last Saturday was a Friday, so I was a whole day off. I missed last episode, my bad. And also, episode 252 and 253 were great episodes. We had a nice, clean, and minimal one, and a really crazy setup edition, and both were terrible in terms of views. So revisit those if you haven't. Really great setup. So today, go through some good ones for you guys. Hope you dig it. I'll have all the gear and hardware you see listed for you in the description down below. But we'll kick it off now. 254. This episode is sponsored by Corsair iCUE, the software that brings your entire setup together, creating a really immersive RGB ecosystem with all your gear and peripherals. Take control by customizing the lighting effects and creating your own personal profiles for any application. You can sync your whole setup to one color, different effects, or get the whole crazy RGB spectrum going on. Plus, with iCUE, you can do things like monitor system performance, create fan curves, all right here inside the software. If you want to check it out, I'll have a link for you in the description down below. Starting us off today, we have Lil-fear with a really nice and clean setup. Did I trick you into watching clean and minimal? I don't know, but this one surely fits, and I'm really digging the way it looks. Lots of really nice stuff going on here in terms of aesthetics. Now, checking it out, he has a 27-inch Alienware monitor. It is 240 hertz, so going to be great here for gaming. That seems to be mounted to its own monitor arm there onto the desk, and in front of it, you can see it has a nice desktop riser, which is using for his speakers, and this one is from Grovemade. Also peep the Nanoleaf Aurora light panels behind it just to give some more, glow and colors to the desktop if he wants to switch it from white to like a colorful blast. Now, down to his peripherals, he has a KBD Fans Tofu. It's a 60% with lubed turquoise switches inside. Got a nice coil cable on there to match the rest of the peripherals, and some black on white keycaps. And then as for his mouse, it's a Logitech G703 Lightspeed. By the way, I've been waiting for a newer super light edition of this, because this mouse was severely underrated. Love the shape. Would love to see a 2021 or 2022 refresh. Now, over on that desktop riser for his speakers, these are always pretty cool to see. The Edifier Luna Eclipse, and then sitting on top of that is the Sennheiser GSP 670 wireless gaming headset. And now we'll check out the PC. Not really too sure where it's at. I didn't really see it in the first few shots, but either way, inside we have an Intel i9 9900K CPU with a Cooler Master Master Liquid ML390L AIO, 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM on an Asus Z390E motherboard with a Galaxy RTX 2070 Super GPU. No info on the case or again where it even is in the room, but keeping the setup nice and clean so it's clearly not anywhere near the actual desktop itself, maybe on the floor out of sight, but again, putting this all together, really digging the vibes and the overall aesthetic you have going on here. It's really minimal. Now we've got Yokim, and this one is really nice and cozy. Again, the nice warm lighting, rich wooden desktop here, loving the vibrant colors it has, and going with a massive ultra wide here since there's only one monitor, seems to be almost the entire span of the desk. So checking it out, it is a Samsung 49-inch, it's their CR490 RG90 model, and I really like the simple choice of going with the countryside landscape here for the ultra wide monitor. Again, just in terms of tones and colors, fits in beautifully. Checking out the peripherals, he's a glorious GMMK Pro keyboard. Inside he has lubed Gateron red switches, some Durock stabilizers, a Melgeek custom cable, and Varmillo keycaps with Logitech G403 Prodigy wireless mouse. And for audio, we have the Revel Concerta 2 M16 speakers powered by the Lakji A30 amplifier, and also for headphones behind, kind of tucked away over to the left side, is a Sennheiser RS 185. Also peep the Herman Miller M-body chair. Now mounted underneath the desk, but still off the floor, is a nice place for his PC with the Cooler Master NR200P case. Inside's an Intel i7 10700K CPU with a Noctua NH-U12A cooler inside. Got 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM on an MSI MEG Z490i Unify IDX motherboard with an MSI RTX 3070 Supreme GPU. Always love a small form factor build like this. And also check out how nice this living room is. Damn. Big old window, big old TV. That's a 75-inch 4K from Samsung. Got a bunch of really nice audio gear here. XTZ Cinema M8 tower speakers and a center speaker and just a bunch of really nice audio stuff. I don't know. So just really digging the warm vibes here. Really no RGB going on. A little bit in the PC case, but that's just from the GPU. But the setup itself, super cozy, super warm. Next, Justin's hitting us with a really unique, pretty much all DIY sort of Portal theme setup here. And he made this from 1-inch PVC board and aluminum tubing to bring this very like Aperture Studios sort of things. The Aperture Studios? Aperture Science, Aperture Laboratories. I don't know why I said Aperture Studios, but it's the same thing. You know what I mean. It's Portal. Just very, very creative. Love DIY stuff like this. For his main display, he has a Samsung 32-inch ultra-wide, and pretty much everything here for the desk setup is going to be black and white to, again, fit that theme. And I'm just giving you a look at the wide shot of the setup because it just looks so cool. Really love all the attention to detail here, even with like the vinyls and the stickers and stuff over on the sort of like makeshift window on the right side. For the peripherals, it's the Corsair K70 RGB Mark II SE keyboard with the Corsair M65 RGB Elite mouse on their MM800 RGB Polaris mousepad. And then for that custom wall-mounted PC, even got like the logo there and stuff he made for himself. Just looks so good. His Ryzen 9 3900 XT GPU, cooled by the Corsair Hydro H100i RGB Platinum SE AIO, 64 gigs of Corsair Dominator Platinum RGB RAM on an ASRock B550 Steel Legend MOBO with an RTX 2070 from Gigabyte. And with it being wall mounted like this with the peripherals, and with it being wall mounted like this with the hardware spread out here on this mount, a really clean job. Like cable management is on point. And you can peek behind that. That's where all the managing and stuff is going on. And the main mounting of the hardware, you can get a sneak peek behind. Really good and creative. So Justin, mega props for going out and creating a really unique custom setup from head to toe. It's funny how visually it's so different from the rest of the room with like the couch and stuff on the left side. So sitting down here, you're definitely in gamer mode. Now we've got S3LQ with a beautifully clean setup. Love the green wallpaper and stuff. And he's actually the creator of some of my favorite keycap sets out there. If you're familiar with Aurora Polaris, he made GMK Evil Dolch and even just ran Shashin, I believe it's pronounced, recently. So here we get a sneak peek at where those sets are created. For the dual monitor setup, his primary is a 34-inch Svive, SVIVE. It is a 100Hz panel with the vertical monitor on the left side being an HP 24-inch at 144Hz. For his peripherals, of course, the keyboard's custom with a classy TKL built with lubed alpacas on a palm plate with GMK botanical keycaps. Definitely one of my favorite sets out there and matches his setup perfectly. And also for his mouse, he's a custom painted Logitech G Pro wireless. Also really digging how clean that lamp is, adds nice contrast with a pop of white. And then also for the rest of his peripherals with audio, he has a Sennheiser HD58X headphones powered by the Steinberg UR12 audio interface. Checking out his PC, inside the Fantex P400S case is an Intel i9 9900K CPU with an NZXT Kraken X73 AIO, 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM, then an MSI RTX 2080 Ventus GPU. Again, we didn't get too much of a wide shot of the room or of the setup really, but no idea where that PC is located. So a really beautiful monochromatic setup here with a nice splash and touch of green with the wallpaper in the matching botanical keycap set. Beautiful stuff, S3LQ, and I'm looking forward to some Aurora Polaris coming out soon, hopefully. Good stuff. And then last but not least, we have Alex with a really interesting sort of dual setup here, even though he just has the one monitor, but you can see the massive TV, 2 laptops, and just a beautiful construction here. Also sort of monochromatic, lots of black and white with the hardware and peripherals. But man, let's dive into it because he's got a 27-inch Alienware monitor, 240 Hz as the primary display, mounted on its own arm off to the left side in white, so it gets that nice seamless floating appearance. Also, one thing he did that I absolutely love is he spanned the wallpaper across not only his TV, but his monitor and then the separate laptop on the right side. So spanning it all across the room, gotta love that unity. Checking out the all-white peripherals here, his keyboard is the Razer Huntsman Mini, that's Razer 60%, going along with his new Razer Orochi V2 mouse on an Odin Gaming Zero Gravity extended mousepad. Now, as I said before, he has 2 different laptops in this room, Powering his main setup is this Alienware laptop. It's the M15R4, has an Intel i7 10870H CPU, got a 5 GHz max turbo frequency, 16 gigs of RAM, and an RTX 3070 inside. So that's the main workhorse for the station. And then also mounted above the setup is his MacBook Pro. And this is actually what's powering that TV off to the left side of the room, as you saw. And also a nice shot underneath the desk. You can get a look at the cable management and how well kept everything is. Might even be like a charging station for the AirPods and stuff. Got some secondary peripherals, but just very tidy and very organized. So Alex, absolutely loving what you did here with this room. It hits on both like the clean and minimal vibes and also the gamer aesthetic. So a great mix of both. Again, loving the monochromatic feels and stuff. Just really, really nice. All right, guys, that'll wrap it up for episode 254 of Room Tour Project. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget, all the gear and hardware you saw in this episode will be listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out, plus some very simple instructions on how to submit your setup. If you like this episode, give it a big thumbs up, show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a good day.